Hi viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is meant to educate you on some basic activities that we can do to help individuals who are over responsive or under responsive to interoception sense. Remember, I in my previous videos have talked about interoception sense, what it is. That is the sense that is responsible for controlling our internal organs, and some people have some disorders with this particular sensation, and they are not able to do some other things, and this brings up some behaviors which I also talked about. But these few activities that I'll be talking about is to help us to use these strategies to help individuals who have interoception processing disorder that can be either hypersensitive or hyposensitive. Let's start with persons who are under-responsive to that. That means they are hyposensitive. What are some of the activities that you can do to help them? Let's go. I'm going to give you 3 of them. The first one is breathing exercise. You know they have problem with the internal controlling their emotions and that. So breathing exercise helps them a lot. How do you do it? But there is a way to do it anyway. The breathing exercise is breathing in and breathing out. And as you are breathing in, you are assuming that you are smelling a very scented flower. So you breathe in, and as you're breathing out, you behave as if you are popping out a candle light. And so you breathe in. So that breathing exercise helps those who are under responsive to have some internal regulation. The next thing is temperature exercise. How do you do temperature exercise? You introduce these individuals to feel different kinds of texture that is very temperature that is very hot, very cold. Different temperature exercises at different degrees. They could touch water that is very hot, water that is cold, ice blocks, ice cubes, warm water, lukewarm water. So you expose them to different temperatures. They have to have that feeling, and with time they start to pick the different temperatures that they are feeling. The next activity for them is emotional regulation activities. How do you go about this? You have to have pictures of different emotions, of someone that is sad, happy, excited, scared, all that. So they learn to label these emotions. So as they are seeing it, they know what it feels like. They label the emotions. You ask them to display it, to demonstrate the emotion. For example, emotion of sad, they show their sad face. And as time goes on, you have to teach them what leads to that emotion. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you scared? What makes you excited? They have to know know the labeling, display the features, tell you what makes them feel that, or what can lead to such emotions. And you also have to teach them the best way to control such emotions. You cannot do the labeling. You cannot stop at the labeling level. You have to label. They have to display it. They have to know what can lead to such emotions, and they have to know the best way to control that. Let's go to those that are over responsive. That is hyposensitive to interoception sense. What are the activities that you can help them do? One of them is alerting activities. What does alerting activities help? It helps them to teach the heartbeat, so they get to feel what their heartbeat is and how the muscles also feel. For example, when a muscle is tensed, when a muscle is relaxed, you have to find a way to teach them that. Another way is playing the emotional game, just like what I have described in the under-responsive, because the two people, either hyper-responsive or hyper-responsive, they are battling with emotions. Some have it in excess, some have it in decline. So teaching them the emotions, labeling the emotions, asking them to display it by themselves with their facial expressions, and then teaching them what leads to such emotions and the best way can help for both under-responsive and over-responsive. The next activity is social stories. We don't talk about emotions without talking about social stories. Social stories is a great way to talk about concepts that children find it difficult to grasp. So you have to build social stories around the emotions. And so they get to have the picture, they get to try to picture it in their memory and then display it. These activities can help those that are over responsive. Remember that all our senses are very important. And in this episode, I've been talking about sensory processing disorder, and this eighth sense has come to an end because I told you that we have 8 senses and not the 5 senses that we were taught in primary school, in secondary school. We have 8 senses. I've talked about the 8 of them, the behaviors associated with the 8 of them, and I gave some examples of few activities that you can do to help people who are either hyposensitive or hypersensitive. Go through all our videos on sensory processing disorder from the episode 1 to episode 2. In the very part 1 to 3 in each of the episodes, you'll be able to get educated or have enlightenment on sensory processing disorder. Autism usually come down with sensory processing disorder, and when we are knowledgeable about how to control and manage individuals with sensory processing disorder, it goes a long way to, I think, the level of progress we see with the children, coupled with other pattern of interventions, like speech and language intervention and behavior modification intervention. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have yet to do that, subscribe so that you get our subsequent videos when it comes on. You'll be the first to like this video, share so that we get more subscribers. We need to enlighten our world. Thank you very much.